Welcome. It's another episode of Spencer Uncensored. Ooh, hold on one second. Let me make sure that I can see your comments and not hear it on this end. There we go. Every time's a little bit different. It's episode 61, I think. Might be even 62. I should always look that up before I get on here. I keep forgetting. We got so much going on and over here, and I'm excited to be getting things going. So, all right, while I'm getting a few of you guys in here, because I'm in so many different places and I have some of the same people that keep following me around in different places, it's difficult to always be talking about something different every time. But let me be upfront. This platform, if you're here on Spencer Uncensored, it's my public one, which means I'm going to talk a lot more about the problem than the solution. Because all the solutions, I favor the people that are on the Unshakable platform. So that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to give you anything here. I always do. I do my best to give you guys something of value. But that's that's just kind of the reality of the whole thing. I'm excited about a couple things. One thing you should know if you have not registered for the Unshakable 7-Day, it's a challenge. It's a 7-day momentum challenge. The practical planning process that we go through there is super helpful to anyone who is unclear. They feel like they're going all over the place and they don't have a process to keep them between the buoys, right? It's a 7-day process. Now there's actually 6 1-hour sessions that we go through in the whole thing. It goes from Thursday to Thursday. So that's how there's 6. And then you have the weekend off. So we're going to go Thursday, Friday, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So there's 6 sessions, and it's all designed to take you through the practical planning process that I take everyone through. Now, if you're hearing this and you've been working with me in the past, then maybe if you're not fully sure about the goal setting part and you're not really sure what you should be doing, right? Or maybe you're going through the reset. I see where Dan had commented that he went through all the different modules that we have in the reset so far, right? There's 26 that he's gone through, but there's actually going to be a lot, like twice that many. So there's probably going to end up around 50 modules in the real estate reset. That's a whole 3-month course. It can take you 3 months. Doesn't necessarily have to. But anyway, the practical planning section of that is what we pulled out, and we're doing it as a challenge. Here's why. The reason I have to do it as a challenge is because I have given it away for free, and there was a huge response. Had a ton of people hey, Spencer, yes, send it to me, send it to me, send it to me. So I did. I started sending it to all the people, and they had access to the practical planning class, right? And you could do it through yourself, do it for yourself. And I just basically pulled out the section in the real estate reset so that you could have just the practical planning for yourself. And the challenge that I found was that a lot of people just didn't do it. Or if they did, they would start the first module, they would watch it, there's some homework involved. And so now, you know what, well, I'll get to it. And so and this is so true. We do a lot of this kind of thing with a lot of things, really. So I had to find a way to help people walk through the whole process. I don't want to just do this for you guys and just throw it out there and then maybe help you. I am committed to seeing you guys take the information and prime your mind, design a whole new level, get things moving in the right direction, then create a plan for that with a price tag that comes along with it, and then work through all of that. And by the way, that involves your finances. Like, you have to figure out your lifestyle. So you got to go through all the different 6 pieces of it, and then you go through that, and I'm making it sound like it might be more complicated than it is. It's really not super complicated. You can make it as complicated as you want, but at the end of the day, if you don't do all these things, you're just going to keep having the same level of results you've always gotten. I, right now, in complete honesty, have a lot of things going on. I got a lot of irons in the fire. but I'm maintaining a great deal of focus. The only way that I can do that is because I actually use the Unshakable process, the rap sheet process, what we teach you in this challenge, what we teach you in practical planning, what we teach you at the Real Estate Reset, because there's always going to be opportunities and there's always going to be obstacles that show up too. This past week, if you know a real estate agent, if you are a real estate agent, then you are, unless you're under a rock, you've definitely heard about the whole changes coming to the compensation discussion. If you're not in real estate and you're hearing this, then you probably haven't paid attention, or if you know a real estate agent, they've been talking about it. This whole thing is shaking up a bunch of people. It doesn't necessarily have to, but how do you maintain focus on what's important and what's not important? How do you know what's relevant, what's not relevant towards getting you towards your goals? That's what the rap sheet process is. That's what the rap sessions are about. We teach that in the challenge because there's so many things that start showing up, and they're obstacles to us sometimes. We get tripped up on it. We got challenges, right? How do we make those decisions? Well, you just pull up your rap sheet. Look at what you got going on. What's my outcome? Where am I at? What am I doing? What's the plan? One of the tenets of the Unshakable, I just wrote it up today, the Unshakable Code. One of them is that I am prioritized through focusing on my plan, right? Focusing on my standards. When you're focused on your standards, you focus on the plan, you don't have to worry about all the other craziness that goes on. So if this new thing comes up and it's a distraction, then it's a distraction. I focus on where am I headed? What am I doing? What's my outcome? That's what this is about. That's what this teaches. Thanks, Dan. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that it made a difference for you. Let me see something real quick. I need to change. There we go. I have these in, not because, this is a side note. I have these in, not because I'm expecting to hear anything. I have them on with a cancellation in so that I can't hear anything else going on around me outside the room or anywhere. All right. It's literally just, it's like putting on, I love these things. I had a neurological response to putting these things on. I have talked about it in the past. I love these AirPods. They're just amazing where that's concerned. I had to turn off the was a conversation, whatever thing. So it will open up the sound, let me hear what's going on whenever I speak. So when I was talking, it was opening up the sound. I had to turn that off. So anyway, all right, we're back on track. Let's get back to it. So the challenge starts in like 2 days on Thursday. And the goal is to keep doing this over time. We want to drive this process. What's going on, Deborah? Yeah. We're going to drive this, and we're going to probably do this every month because I know for a fact new people are going to come on board and they're going to be curious. And sometimes agents just need to come back through and get reprimed, get back to that process of dreaming, right? Figuring out where they're at, and then dreaming, then going into the desire exercise, then figuring out the disturbance, right? And creating the threshold necessary to make the decision on an anchor goal. All that's in this challenge. And that's why we're doing it, right? We're probably going to be doing this on a regular basis, and I'm just going to keep building it up over time. I want to start giving away stuff like gifts and giveaways and all that. So it's been fun. So that's one big focus for us right now. We've been doing a lot with that. The other big focus is I've been working on getting myself into other areas with other agents, in front of as many agents as possible, and bringing the Unshakable Masterclass. So if you're hearing this right now and you know that you have a group of real estate agents you would love to help, or you know other agents that you're friends with and that you'd like to bring me in, reach out to me. I've got a very special thing I've been doing recently, and I'm going to have one of those in Jacksonville here on the 29th. So if you hear this and you're anywhere close to Jacksonville, Florida, the 29th at 9 a.m., we're going to be doing it off San Jose Boulevard. We're going to have a 3-hour masterclass. We already got about 30 registered. Looking forward to having more. You guys are welcome to be there. The masterclass is a full unpackaging of the Unshakable framework. All 5 of the pieces. We talk about mindset, mechanics, movement, the relationship between all 3 of those. And we really get down into it. And then we also have a mastermind toward the end where you guys can collaborate with each other and work through some things and walk away with a 24-hour action item. This is a very intense 3 hours. If you're looking to bring something like that to your area and your market, let me know, because I can. Right now, there's a very special thing I'm doing because I want to get in front of as many people as possible. That's just what we're doing. That's the nature of this business. Maybe I should let me show you that. Let me explain this to you this way. The reason I'm doing it that way, right? People that say, well, Spencer, you're just going out here and just going to go and talk to as many people as possible. Like, you're not going to qualify it in any way. No, this is why the same thing I tell real estate agents to go out here and make the calls. And if somebody wants to meet with you, go meet with them. If early in the business and you're just getting up and running, go. You need to get through as many doors as possible. You need to talk to as many people as possible. And that's what I'm doing. I don't have the notoriety that some of these other coaches have. I don't have the big name that I can't draw huge crowds, but guess what I can do? Get in front of the number of people that that resonate with the Unshakable message. And if you don't think that right now is a time when people need to hear this message, then again, your head's under a rock. People need to hear the Unshakable message, the understanding of how to create a business and a life that's unshaken. That doesn't matter what happens in their life, they keep moving forward. If you want to bring that kind of message, reach out to me. I'm super excited about what we're doing with that. So that's the second big thing. The third big thing is the real estate reset. Now that one been neglected recently. I need to get back on it to keep recording, because as Dan pointed out, he's at module number 26, which means he's probably toward the end of what I've recorded so far. I got to get going beyond it. We have been talking. That means he's gotten through the lead generation portion with where we talk about, help me out. Oh, geez. Lead generation, prospecting, right? And so I have all the different types of prospecting, or the majority of them, laid out, and I'm doing a video on each and every single one. So yeah, for sale by owner, expired, all that's going to be in there. Once I've finished those recordings, we're going to get into some of the other things that I've already been doing with our groups, like my UHG team that I've been working with. I work with them every week. We have, well, 3 times a month, but we do a lot of conversations like Wednesday Night Live. We have, in the last 2 weeks, last week, we talked about conversion. Like, how do you take a conversation and turn it into an appointment? Some people struggle with that. Just the simple question of, and actually we did it on here before in the past. I shared some of that stuff, but just the simple question of, are you guys planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? Right. That's one. But anyway, the conversion conversation. So we covered all that last week. That'll be in the real estate reset. But then we also covered this past week, we didn't cover it entirely because it's a lot to cover, the conversation around commitment. And commitment discussion is a heavy discussion right now, because what we're referring to when I say commitment, the C's, the process of real estate, what we're talking about is presentation and getting signatures at the table. So this is exclusive. This is working with sellers and getting what we call listings. This is also talking about with buyers getting listings, buyer listings. There's really not anything new in my book because I've been talking about it for a long time, but now more than ever, everybody's they're getting a little bit concerned. Like, I've never really had to sell the buyer commission, my value on that side. The agent that's going to struggle is the one that still believes it in their head that they don't bring any value. Now, you may not say that out loud, but that's the one that's going to struggle with this whole thing, is the one that thinks I'm not really worth that kind of money just to show houses and write up a contract. Until you get that ripped out of your brain, you're going to struggle with getting buyer agency agreements, or you're just going to be the cheapest person. And, you know, the cheapest agent may not be necessarily the worst agent, but it won't be necessarily the best agent for sure. So we're going to be, we're going to start breaking that box open and having more conversation with the team. But right now, we really just focused on how to actually articulate value. Sorry, I was just reading. How to articulate value, how to particularly articulate your value, because of the thousands of agents in your market, you're the only one that's you. How do you actually articulate that? So we literally walk through how to do that. Like, what are the steps to make this clear so that you can articulate your personal value, so it's nobody else is going to be able to compete, because there's only one you. And then we also talked about how to differentiate yourself, even with numbers and so on. We broke that down. And they all had homework this week. So that's what we've been working on right now. It's all going to be in the reset. It's all in the reset. We're going to be doing all this. This is the framework that we use to help people build their real estate business, because this is what you need. It's just what it is. So here's what I want to wrap up with tonight. These seem to turn into 20-minute discussions. And thank you for the interaction we've been getting tonight. Dan said he actually did the hook story, Lay's closing, and then have posted it 3 of my pages in LinkedIn. Okay, cool. All right. I don't care about how fancy the language gets out here, but there's only 3 things that's going to create success for you. And more importantly, the alignment of those 3 things. You've heard me say this again, but it's a good time to repeat it. Most performers are going to tell you mindset is a big deal. So mindset's 1. Some would say 80% of success is mindset. Some will even say 90%. Whatever the number is for you, I'm telling you, it's a portion of it. Secondly, mechanics. If you don't know how to do it, you can have all the mindset in the world. It's never going to get anywhere. So you got to know how. Got to have the mindset, got to have the mechanics, and you have to have the movement. Number 3 is movement. I want you to think about this for a second. If you drew this out on a piece of paper, I've been working on doing some illustrations recently. So if you can imagine this, right? You ever seen those diagrams with like 3 circles and then they overlap each other? And so you got like one little spot in the middle where they all 3 intersect. That's the unshakable. That's being unshakable. That dead center is unshakable. But there's 3 little places where only 2 circles connect with each other. If you have, maybe if you're drawing this between, let's say, mindset and movement. So you got the mindset and you're out here taking action, right? That's a positivity, Pollyanna type pattern. Because what's going to happen is that you're so heavenly minded, you're no earthly good. You're out here taking action, and it's, that's all well and good, but it's not necessarily got the appropriate mechanics. Does that make any sense? Yeah, it's all positivity. I was just double checking because all this is going off my memory. And then if you were, this is not new to anybody that knows my stuff, by the way. the positivity or the Pollyanna pattern, that pattern of being positive and, hey, you know, if I could just be good enough, I'll make it all happen. Or I just keep on working hard enough. I got the mindset. I'm going to go take action. I'm going to get there. Right. That's a pattern for frustration. Now, if I took mechanics, right, I know how to do this. I know exactly what to do, and I go and do it. Like I take action. I'm the movement, right? Mechanics and movement, devoid of the mindset or the unshakable mindset, you're going to end up with a productivity type pattern, and you're going to be productive. But being productive in and of itself without mindset is going to create a pattern of burnout. Because you're never going to, it's just, I know what to do. I know how to do it. I'm just going to keep working. I'm going to keep working. And you feel like you have a glass ceiling. You can't ever seem to get past it. You have to bring in mindset. Just like with the positivity people, you got to bring in the mechanics. You got to bring in the mindset. Well, the most recent evolution to all this content that we've been working on is the connection between mindset and mechanics without movement. I've realized that you could have mindset and mechanics. But if you don't take action, if you don't have the unshakable drive to take action, then we're calling that the latent potential pattern. It's a pattern of potential. It's one of the saddest. It's super sad. And I think there's a lot of people that fit in that category too, where they got the right mindset, they got the right mechanics, which means they got the potential. But if they don't take action with all of this stuff, it's not gonna, it's just latent potential. So tonight, if I could encourage you in any way, shape, or form, it's to look at what's going on in your life, pay attention to the patterns. If you got the mindset, or just look at all three: mindset, mechanics, movement. And maybe you don't understand or know all the different pieces to it. I'm just going to let you know. That's what we teach. But I think inside your gut, you probably have an idea. Which one do I need to keep working on? And I don't think anybody like makes a decision and it fixes itself all at once. I think most people I think we all constantly work on this stuff. We constantly evolve. So with that being said, you guys have a fantastic evening. Thank you for being here. It's a good reminder for everybody. If you need something from me, just reach out anytime. Looking forward to those that are coming to the challenge on Thursday. If you don't know where to sign up for that, by the way, it's unshakableplan.com. Unshakableplan.com. Talk to you later.